In this little video, we're going to look at a different stitch. It's called Quaker stitch or split stem stitch. This stitch was, I suppose, invented or created in the 1980s by an Anne Wilson while they were doing a project in Lisburn, I believe, for a Quaker tapestry. And this stitch is designed for lettering particularly. It just gives an extra edge and it stands up. So let's take a look and see how it works. I'm going to start again with my little waist knot. And 2 little stitches. Now I'm using, just for the purposes of visual, a slightly thicker thread and a bigger needle for this. So it starts exactly like a stem stitch. So I'm going to keep my working thread to my left hand side. So I'm going to make my first stitch. I'm going to bring the needle back where I came out first. I'm going to come forward about 1/3 the length of the stitch. This is just for the first stitch. I'm holding onto that loop. I'm not bringing the stitch all the way through. Now I'm going to split this stitch and bring the needle and thread all the way through. Come forward the length of a stitch, hold that loop, bring the needle up and split about halfway through the previous stitch and all the way through. So you're going to see on one side what looks like stem stitch, but when you come to the far side, it's going to look like a chain stitch. So that's what gives the raised effect. So again, holding onto that loop, splitting the previous stitch. Again, this stitch is actually probably best worked with a single thread. So it comes down, holding onto that loop. That's why using a hoop at this stage is quite a, and you get that nice twist. It will not be easy to see, but it does give, I'll try and just turn this, slightly raised effect on one side, and it's excellent for lettering. Great for going around tight corners or very small letters, particularly with a single thread from a skein and maybe a number 10 or number 11 needle. You get a lovely fine stitch. And that's our Quaker stitch, useful for, again, it's a lovely outline stitch, but particularly designed for lettering. Keep it going in the one direction. That's the only thing to watch, is when you're using it, is that it does all fall into the one direction as you work it. So keep that working thread to your left or underneath or on top, depending on the fall of the letters. But if you're doing a script writing, for example, you just follow the script, the direction of the script and the writing, and you should be absolutely fine. So there's our Quaker stitch. Happy stitching.